It's officially 3:33 p.m. and we are off the clock.
Okay, so we're back for episode 2.
Dose.
Before we get into it, I am Ash.
I'm Kai.
I'm DJ.
Okay, so a brief little check-in. How y'all feeling? How'd you feel after the last episode?
I think I was like, wow, we like really did something. Like,
Yeah,
Very much something.
we executed.
we executed. Yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah, it was a good feeling once
Yeah.
it was completed, and it was just a unique experience, like for people who genuinely don't like to talk.
A whole lot.
Right, yeah.
Right.
And proud too. Proud
Yeah,
that
we got it done.
we got it done. We accomplished and we got it done. Yeah.
Okay, so did anything come up for you that you weren't expecting, or everything
Everything was
on the up and up?
For me, it was more so like a confirmation of like how I felt about our friendships. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's one thing to feel a thing, but it's another to like hear it out loud and for it to be confirmation for you too that somebody else is feeling the same way that you're feeling about a situation, feeling, or a moment.
Right.
It was great. Yeah. And to rewatch it was like, okay, we cute.
it was given.
It's giving bad bitch.
Totally.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's get into it. It's only right our first topic episode be based on the industry that we're in, which is the beauty industry.
Yes.
That's beauty products, beauty services, etc. The beauty industry market size has grown by 41.4 billion since 2014, when it was worth 492.6 billion. It is projected to continue to grow this way. It's projected to continue to grow 4% year over year.
Yeah.
Indefinitely.
That's crazy.
It's wild.
Yeah.
For it to be sat on like it is.
Yeah, for sure.
It's super significant.
I mean, when I think about when I was in hair school, right, and we had like a class. It wasn't a class. It was like a speaker comment. They were like, the average person in the hair industry makes $40,000. And in my mind, I was like, bitch, who?
Right.
Not me.
Right. What do you think
I haven't made
attributed
40,000 since, I don't know, college. Like, that wasn't gonna happen. That wasn't happening for me. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna do everything and anything that I can to elevate myself to make sure that I'm not in that percentile or
Yeah.
So what do you think? I mean,
No, so I got a theory. Back in the day when I used to be a Mary Kay consultant, I used to be
right, back, yes.
I used to be a Mary Kay consultant like my second year in college because that's what my mom did.
My mom did Mary Kay when I was born.
And so I just I legitimately thought like I would love to drive a pink Cadillac Escalade around Atlanta.
To get that, yes.
I legit was in it. So I didn't realize, everybody in college was broke. So it was kind of, I ended up having a plethora of products to get
right.
skincare on fleek always, all the time.
Right.
But it just really didn't roll because the people that I rolled with at that time didn't have enough money. But anyway, when I used to go to the, they used to have big meetings, little regional meetings at the hotel across from Lennox. I can't remember the name. But anyway, I used to go over there. And the one thing the lady said, which 2020 proved to me, is that there are 3 things that are recession proof.
Yes.
Sex, alcohol, and beauty.
Yes.
Period. And like all of those industries within the past 2 years haven't really seen a decline.
Yeah.
Alcohol sales went up.
Yep.
Sex sales went up.
Shout out.
What else is there to do?
Sex sales went up,
Yes.
and legitimate. Our books, our clients could not wait for us to be back open.
Yeah, I would say like COVID, like, the COVID year, like that was probably one of my best years in the industry.
That's crazy.
Like,
Yeah.
after we were opened up, they after the lockdown and everything opened back up, it was like everybody was like in line. And begging for an appointment.
Yes.
For sure.
Immediately.
Yeah, immediately.
So yeah, that is why I was thinking like none of what you're saying and all of the facts that's been proven to me. Those ladies said that. I never lived through anything like that, or like when we were in a recession back in the, I wasn't conscious of what was going on. But now that I know, I'm like, oh
yeah.
It's
it felt like
proven.
a cliche until it was proven.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, yeah.
They proved
But
it.
then I questioned that 40,000, and I'm like,
That's what I was paying
yeah,
for.
it has to be a certain type, like that old school hairstylist or old school nail tech who like literally was just comfortable with what was coming to them. No marketing, paper books. You know what I mean?
Nationally, that's still like the average. Even like, I think nationally, it's like 35,000 a year.
Yeah,
which.
It makes sense to me.
I think Georgia's was like maybe 70,000, 71,000.
Yeah, on average.
On average.
Yeah.
But even those numbers, like, what do you think is a trip? Like, what is the reason why they're either reporting lower or you think that's actual earnings?
I know why.
Why, Kai?
I mean, because people are not reporting the true numbers of it all because, I mean, I don't know if we're going to,
I think the history of it, too, it was a cash business.
Yes.
That's what I was going to say. That, and also, too, it's not set up like a business.
Right. Absolutely.
The money flow and it's not set up like a business. So, of course, you're reporting 35. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't know if you're going to say we're going to talk about that, but yeah. Okay. I got a lot to say about that.
You ready? You are ready.
That's 3 hours. I think women in general, we make something out of nothing. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So,
and if we got something we think look good, we want to highlight it.
We want to highlight it. Absolutely. Yeah.
It.
And the girls want it. Yeah. I was going to say, you can literally put together, you can go to Target and go to Saks or whatever and make it look like anything. Look like
Create
$1 million.
Absolutely.
$1 million or whatever.
I don't get more compliments until when I have to run to Target at 7 a.m. to grab something before work.
Yeah, absolutely.
Literally, I'll go grab that, come to work, and everybody all crowded. I'm like, God dang, I love that jumpsuit.
Listen,
I'm like, man,
I
might have changed
spent pennies for it. Exactly.
This is not thought out.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That was weird as fuck. Kai, I don't know how you did this the other day.
You just fill in words.
Okay. So I guess about earning potential that we kind of already talked about, the earning potential or what the average earned income is for beauty professionals. So as far as earned income, we know that that's kind of endless. Right. You guys feel like there are limitations on like what a service provider like us, if there are any limitations there on your position or in the industry as a whole?
What do you think?
Absolutely not. It's just literally for me, the only limitation I have is what I give myself and what I'm comfortable putting my name behind. Right. Like that is the probably only limitation, and like whatever time I want to dedicate to this task. But that's the only limitation. Those are self limitations. That doesn't have anything to do with what I can do, what I can sell, what I can, what service I could provide.
Right.
Yeah. Once you get comfortable touching people, it's just like.
Yeah.
I guess there's no like limitation to what your income could be, but I feel like there are like restrictions. Like there are only 24 hours in a day.
Absolutely.
There are limitations in that regard.
Yeah.
Aside from like having products and like scaling.
Yeah.
Physically being behind.
Yeah.
The chair.
There's no limitations. You set your own limitations. I feel like like sometimes we people get in their own way and then they're like, oh, I can't do this, I can't do that. You definitely can. It's just like you have to, like she said, like it's about what I put into it, and it sounds so corny, but it is. You get what you put into it. You put into it, or just even say for instance, like when I first started off, I wasn't really doing any like high end services, right? Mm-hmm. And then I just kind of like figure some stuff out or like learn some stuff, took some classes and worked my way into not only doing high end stuff, but you can't really come out the gate setting your prices all super high. Like, like you a goat in the world just because everybody else is doing it. So I feel like you literally put into it what you get out of it, but there are no limitations. Your only limitations are yourself.
For sure. But to one of the points that you made just now,
maybe the word is not limitations, but maybe what I'm thinking of. Mm-hmm. I'm thinking about as a service provider. If I'm not selling products, if I'm only servicing clients, there is literally only so much that I can do with my two hands. If I'm not willing to like scale outward and higher,
right? Yeah.
I'm using the wrong word, but if that feels like a limitation in this, like as service providers in general. If I'm a contractor and I'm the only one, it's like There's a limit.
There's so many like avenues that you can go into. So even if you're a good speaker, talker, and people believe, what you say, and you make it believable or whatever, you can go into education.
Well, that was the growth.
But
I was talking about limitations as a service provider.
Oh, okay.
It's just because you only have those 8 hours or whatever hours you're going to dedicate to it. Yeah. So there is a limit. There's always a cap. And so as you get more and more professional, and that time that you have becomes more valuable, be it that you've taken another class or that you've just done the hours to now have mastered the craft.
For sure.
Yeah. So there are limitations, and that's when you start seeing your price fluctuate higher. And then you start seeing your availability becomes lower because the time that you have to dedicate to this is limited.
Absolutely.
And it needs to be filled with the type of quality person that will understand that your time is valuable and not to like. So there are limitations. Your body can only do so much, and your mind. And once that's done,
so important.
Yeah,
so
I guess
important.
you can make that price whatever you want. So
it really is.
You can make the price whatever. You can make the price whatever you want, but the price got to make sense.
Absolutely.
No, it got to make sense to
the provider. No, to the provider.
Like,
your level of expertise. Absolutely. Like that's what I was saying. Like I didn't come out the gate, charging the same way as the person who taught me, Chanel. Absolutely. Like
she worked up to that.
The
only way that was the point I was trying to. The only way that I would be comfortable with that charging if I have a price point in my mind, if I've done the practice work.
Absolutely,
for sure.
Yeah. So sometimes you get stuck like leveling up that price point. If you're starting low, you might as well already do the work in the back end, like do the practice and the models, because it's hard to change your price on people.
Right.
You get not on people. It's just difficult if you feel a way.
Every
about
time
it.
you change your price, you're gonna lose somebody.
Absolutely.
And that's just fact.
Yeah, absolutely.
I recently went through a price change. And it is what it is.
Charging what you want because you've done the work in the back end and you're guaranteeing XYZ every single time. Yes. I think that's a beautiful place to be rather than starting low and scaling up.
For sure.
Yeah. That's just my perspective now. Because I've experienced, what I've experienced.
Especially when you're targeting a certain clientele.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So when I do have the opportunity to speak to people that want my advice, I'm always like, grow slow.
Right.
And be intentional about your boundaries versus trying to please everybody.
Yeah.
Lowballing it. And then it's just harder to grow out of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then making things make sense. So it's not really a big point, but I remember when I decided to get behind the chair and I was asking you about like what merchants you use and things like that for your credit card processing. Yeah. And I was like, I'm doing Square. And you were like, just keep doing Square until you get to a point where you're making so much money that it only makes sense for you're giving too much money away.
Yes.
Right. And that was smart as hell. So even little tidbits like that,
Dang, I didn't even know I dropped
the points, girl. We're going to get there.
Sorry. Shit, I
used to leave this podcast. So, kind of piggybacking off what you said, the next thing is going to be growth. So, as individual service providers, of course, all of us kind of do something outside of what we do as service providers. But what would you guys say are the growth avenues for service providers? Like what we were saying in order to scale. So, if that's hiring someone, if that is products, etc. So what do y'all think is like the growth potential and limitations, if any, on
my number one advice for everything and anybody in any industry is always you have to be forced to the next level. And what that means is so say for instance you decide that you want to start a clothing line, right? I feel like you shouldn't start with clothes, shoes, and handbags, and hats or whatever. Start with one thing, and then you're doing so well on this one thing that it leads you to another path, right? So, for instance, if you're in the hair industry or you do lashes, makeup, or whatever, I wouldn't just come out the gate and like have an assistant and have rent, you know what I'm saying? Like you have a salon space or you want to go get a commercial space because you like the idea of it. No, do the work, the bottom work, and then it has to force you to the next step. When I first started off in the beauty industry, I started selling extensions. I wasn't even behind the chair, right? So I'm not sure if this is too much information. as far as like your points.
It's never too much
Okay.
information.
But I was still working as a VP of operations at a retail company called Traffic Shoes before they closed. And me being a VP, I would get mileage to go travel to the different stores. Okay. So wherever you lived, if you drove to the different stores from your office, you would get paid for driving, right? Mm-hmm. And so one year I said, I'm going to save all of my mileage checks for the year just to see like how much money it would be, because it would be a nice some little check. Right. Some good checks. Yeah. And so then I was like, okay, well, it was some good amount of money. I think I saved up probably like close to $10,000. And I was like, okay, well, I need to do something with the money. I wasn't just gonna go buy a bag, right? Yeah. So I decided I was like, well, I'm gonna sell extensions. You know, I had came up with the idea before with a group of friends, and it didn't stick. So I was like, I'm just gonna do it. So I bought the extensions, did the research as far as like, you know, who I should buy it from, created my own website, sat in the house for 3 weeks, figured out how to do my own website, got a photo shoot done with Dantes, and then started selling the extensions in my first year. I made $60,000, which was on the side hustle, and it was great. And I was like, I was shocked as hell. But it was mismanaging of the money though, right? Of course. But I still had a good enough of money to like, okay, well, I'm doing great. So I was like, I'm going to get a commercial space. And I did that, and it did great its first year, right? Right. But it was like that one thing pushed me to the next thing. I didn't just be like, well, I'm going to go buy these extensions and I'm going to go give me a commercial space.
All this overhead without any income coming in.
Yeah, so you have to, there's levels to it.
Your business, like, grow to a place where you're uncomfortable. Yes. And now it's time to go to the next
level. For sure. Yeah.
Absolutely. And be patient with that process, because people have to remember that what they see online and what is presented is always content.
Yes.
I was about to say, like, it's
everything is content. Everything is content.
No, literally, everything is intentional, and it's supposed to make you feel the feels that you feel.
Yes.
And so don't skip all these steps in your process trying to make your pictures or make your situation look like these people
look like that is something
carefully curated. Carefully curated content. Like, that's not realistic. So,
and people respect the journey.
Sure. Yeah, we be ugly at our shops getting it done. But when we pop out, it's a moment.
Since 2014, I can probably count on one hand how many times I saw you ugly at Addicted.
No, yeah. But when I say ugly, facts. But when I say that, I mean like in the grind.
Yeah,
like,
in the grind.
You don't see that, but like, yes, my clients do experience something the internet doesn't necessarily see it.
Yeah.
But when you see me pop out, it's when I'm having a moment.
Yeah.
From the grind, from the trenches.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it looks good because I'm happy to be there.
And it looks good. Yeah.
But nah, you're right.
All right. So let's talk about a little bit of our individual experience, your introduction to the industry.
Yeah.
And what you currently do.
Okay. You first.
Me first.
Yes.
I guess my first introduction to the industry would be my auntie Pam. She had a shop when I was a little kid. Mm-hmm. That was like a thing. Like every week I was there. Yeah. It was like a whole thing. Like I don't ever really remember my mom like doing my hair at home. The earliest memory is of my aunt doing mine. So, so my introduction was of course to her doing that. And then as I grew up, I was always just really good with my hands, really creative. Mm-hmm. So naturally, I was like that friend. I did the hair, I did the makeup, I did the brows. Like that just came naturally.
Yeah.
When I was initially about to leave corporate, I decided I was going to go to hair school. Even though I had been like resisting going to hair school, I didn't want to do hair because I didn't enjoy it. Mm-hmm. I'm like, I got to leave this job.
Yeah.
So like right as I did my enrollment for school, right around that time, my lash artist was offering a course.
Okay.
I took it. I've been in love with it ever since.
Mm-hmm.
That was 2015. I started working with DJ in 2016. Yeah. Left my job. And then I opened Artist and Lash 2017 in October. Been there doing that ever since. Mm-hmm. What else do I do in beauty? That's pretty much it.
Yeah. What was the feel of it like? You know, being with you said Auntie Pam, right? Mm-hmm. What was the feeling like? Did you feel?
So I guess back then, even though like that's where we all that was like community, like being at the hair shop, like the whole culture of the hair salon. I will say that it was kind of looked at like hair, like cash business.
Yeah.
Kind of like a hustle.
Oh, yeah.
Even though she ran her business professionally.
Yeah.
The overall vibe was like, you know, and I think at that time, our parents were like, go to college, go to college, go to college.
Yeah.
You know, be a doctor, be a nurse. Like, you know what I mean? It was like medical or be a lawyer. So
it's not,
even though it was something I was naturally good at, it wasn't necessarily
prestigious enough.
Right.
That.
Yes. Yeah.
Even though I feel like all of us, I mean, most of the first entrepreneurs in our families, in most probably Black families,
right?
You know,
were
beauty professionals,
beauty professionals,
your hairstylists, like
absolutely, your person,
for sure.
So
there you go. Okay, so I'll make it short because
give us the short. Right?
I'll give you the short version.
Give whatever.
No, because it is it's near and dear to my heart. So
you keeping the secret?
No, I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it's super near and dear to my heart. I mean, I've had a couple of interviews and I've explained the short version of it, but like I've said many times before, I grew up in a hair salon. So my aunt, she worked in and still currently works in and is the owner of, well, you guys know I'm from Portland, Oregon. Yeah. So this is big for it to be Black, but the oldest, one of the oldest buildings, one of the oldest salon / barbershops in Portland, Oregon. And it has been made this last year a staple in Portland, Oregon. Super, super exciting. And it's still standing. So it's been open since the 50s. So I literally grew up in that salon. She did my hair all the way up until probably about 6th grade. And then I actually, my other aunt started doing my hair, Auntie Rosa. And so I always felt like my mom was always used to love to get dressed. My parents always used to love to get dressed. I always used to watch her put on makeup and do her hair, and her hair was always her thing. She would be long, she would be short. Her 30th birthday, she came to Atlanta Freaknik and cut all her hair off.
Not your mama the Freaknik. Wait a minute.
I can just remember she came back with her hair used to be all the way down her back, and she came back with a shortcut and a ducktail. Yes, child.
I am weak.
Came back with her hair short. So. And then my Auntie Rosa, she basically taught me how to do hair. So like literally press and comb, like how to do hair. And so when I went off to college, like that was like a big thing. Like I got my pressing plate, I got my own pressing comb. We burnt the pressing combs, you know, to make sure that it works properly. And I always, like you, been that girl was like, okay, you need to do this to your hair. You need to do that. You need to pull this up. And it just kind of stuck. I did my first sew-in in my dorm room, and I was like charging $30-$40 for a sew-in. Yes.
$25. Wait, that's why I hated it.
Wait.
Yeah.
That's why you hated it. Yeah. I think I charged like $75, and my English teacher at Clark was trying to talk me down from that.
From the $75. The $75 was high end.
My lowest price was, I think with my girlfriends, it was like just get my nails done.
Yeah.
Make sure y'all keep my nails done.
Yeah. But even when I did have hairstylists, I would be like, no, do it like this and do it like that. And
who am I?
Still to this day, right?
Yes, because you know what you like.
Exactly, you know what you like.
Y'all don't feel a way about that though?
Huh?
Y'all don't feel a little way about
No,
that?
because I'm so particular. So I just want it to be the way that I want it to be. Like my friend Kennedy, she's like, I already know, girl, just sit down. You just really just need me to put it in.
Yeah. Right. No, I really want to direct it.
How are you that client without being that client? Like, how do you?
I don't mind it. With me being a hairstylist, I don't mind it. Like, tell me what you like so that I know what you like so that I can do it a million times. I have a client named Big. I call her Big M. Her name is Malone. Sure. But I literally, after I get done styling her, the styling is always perfect. She always loves it, but I always hand her the edge brush for her to do her edges the way that she likes it. Absolutely. And it is what it is.
Kind of like me when I get my makeup done, I'm like, I'll do my eyebrows. Don't worry. You know what I mean? It's just kind of one of those things. But if you lead with that, you look at people in their eyes like, I like this. I want this like this. I'm going to do this like this. Can you please have this? Yeah. So that when I sit down, I can just chill.
It does piss some people off.
It does. And
but I guess for me, I don't mind.
I won't say that it will piss me off. I guess sometimes with what we do.
It's like
there's a trust.
Yeah, because your eyes are closed and it's just like you're creating something for them.
At this price point though, you don't really experience that.
Yeah,
You don't experience
no.
questioning you in that way.
No,
yeah.
No, not that way. When we were priced lower, though, I had a lot of back and forth.
Isn't that crazy, though? Isn't that crazy?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Because your numbers attract a certain person.
Yes.
A certain person that is paying a certain, only time she'll open her mouth if she's not experiencing what she wants to experience. But other than that, it's no fact checking.
But I like having those conversations, especially with newer clients, so that I know that what I'm dealing with.
We get it out the way.
Yeah, so for me, consultations are super important for me.
Yeah.
For sure. But yeah, so I mean, beauty has always been a thing. I've always felt like a girl. I've always felt like I wanted to be a girl. Like I always wanted to be
me all this shit.
Mom said she's never met a more hoochie kid than me. I was all about the nails and the makeup.
Oh my God. Yeah. Oh my God. I love it.
I got a story.
I didn't start wearing tennis shoes until my husband, honestly.
No,
I think I started in high
remember
school.
this story. My mom used to let me play and make up all the time. Like, so whatever little look I came, up with, she'd be like, all right, but you know what I mean?
Right,
she would let me
but live your life.
Yes, it'd be a mess. It does not match. It just was a mess. So one day my dad picked me up. He was taking me to his house to have like whatever kind of gathering we was having for Christmas with my stepmom at that time and her family. So I know the way from my house to daddy house. This man was driving around Richmond Park, and I'm like looking around like
he was stressed.
He was stressed, and then he finally was like, "Mom, you think you could wipe that off?" He didn't want to see it anymore. He was like, "Can you wipe that off?" He was over it.
He's like, "I cannot take you to this event looking like I'm embarrassed." It's too much toning down.
Too much lighter and gloss, different colors. It was it probably was a mess to him, but he just didn't know what to say.
He didn't know what to say. Yeah.
He rode and rode. I'm like, how are we riding in this circle?
How old were you?
About 6 or 7.
I'm done.
I was made up though.
So tell us your introduction to beauty.
Okay, so
you didn't finish.
I'm sorry.
Your,
bring us current.
Yeah.
No, that's basically. Oh yeah, I said I didn't really wear tennis shoes until then. But currently, I just
as far as your industry story.
Oh, what do you want me to say?
Yeah, like your business. So it brought you.
Oh, okay. So I so that was 2014 when I got in. I started selling extensions, right? I didn't go to hair school. Hair school later in life, 2017, and I made the intentional decision to close down my own personal space and go into somebody else's space, right? And that's also a thing that I haven't talked about either, that I always said that I would talk about after a lot of stuff with Black Lives Matter and George Floyd. It kind of like hit, and I was like, this is a story that needs to be told. But anyways, I went into I went into a salon that was primarily white. Very different from my upbringing, right? And the reason why I did that was because I said I grew up with my hair type. I know how to do our hair, right? I wanted to have a different experience and learn how to do the other's hair.
Okay, so
right?
when you went to hair school, you went to like a predominantly
I went to Aveda, so it's just like mixed, really. It's primarily white, but it's mixed. Yes. So so I went to a salon that I don't want to name because the experience, was little tricky, but that's
a good word for it. I like
that. And one day I am going to tell the full story. I would love to tell it on the podcast, but I will tell the full story one day. But I went there because I know that there was a lot of things that they did that we did not do. Okay, so like we talked about before. So when you have a client pre-booking, or digitizing their appointments and getting them confirmations, or getting a discount for pre-booking and keeping your appointment, or getting referral discounts and things like that. We didn't do that, in the Black hair salon. It was like you came, you got your hair done, you sat there for hours upon hours.
Systems.
Yeah, exactly. So, and not to talk down on it because that's our culture. It is what it is. But for instance, in the other salon,
a huge head start.
Yes. And the other salons, you would literally you have to stick to a time, and that's the reason why I pride myself on time and attendance. Stick to a time, and if you don't stick to time, you have to accommodate your client for not sticking to that time. So there was things that I wanted to learn, and I did, and it was great, and I took a lot away from that.
You learned what to and what not to.
And what not to do, and I kind of blended those cultures together. Right. Absolutely.
Do you think that was easier for you though? In general, coming from, I know like us coming from corporate,
yeah,
you coming from hospitality, like giving good service is kind of
it's
in the
easy.
nature
Yeah,
of it.
because I worked in retail for all those times, and I worked my way up through retail. So the one biggest thing about retail was what? Customer service. Absolutely. So absolutely, but also too, I think it was my upbringing too. You know, you come from a household where it's like being polite, being respectful to adults, like those are things, right? Those are kind of embedded in you. So it was easy for me to kind of navigate that, and I'm very comfortable with being myself.
That was, girl, I was literally waiting to say that out.
Yes.
I was literally like, once you're confident in what you can do, and nobody can tell you shit about like what you can provide and all of that. Like it's nothing for me. I mean, to look
personality
at you
from A to Z. Yeah, like
give it to me.
Yes, I used to work with one of my best friends, and she'd be like, I mean, when I say uber sweet, uber nice, one of the nicest people I know, and she would be like in the stores. Why do other people love you so much and you're so mean to them? Like, you always crack jokes about them. Their clothes.
Yeah. They want a true experience.
Yeah, and I'm like, because I'm
looking crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
Tell me.
I'm me. They enjoy it. But anyway, so it was just always easy for me to kind of be me in that space. And even though I never, one thing I never did was play the corporate hee-haw games.
For sure.
Ever. I'm going to be professional, but I'm going to be,
authenticity is it's addicting and it's easy.
I'm not changing my voice to sound a different way. Now, again, I can be polite and professional and direct.
I've definitely code switched. My mom worked corporate my life, and I saw how she worked corporate and how she was at home.
Yeah.
You know, she's always very like
She's just a little more relaxed.
She did a birthday shout out the other day. It was so professional. Why is it so professional?
Why is the birthday shout out professional?
Relax.
Yeah.
So but I have code switched. I mean, I think working at a corporate, I was so young, and also just kind of like, you know, kind of that mindset of like, you're just not blessed, but blessed to be there. I had left a situation where I had some financial struggle. So when I got that corporate job, it was like,
whatever I need to do.
But maybe mine's was a little bit different than yours.
Confidence changes.
Mine's was probably a little bit more different.
Leadership.
No, because it was retail. Gotcha. You know, so even though you have to be super professional corporate, I think mine's was more so like, you making the money.
Yeah.
We riding. Yeah.
Definitely.
I think that's probably why. But and then after that, that didn't work out. I started working in my home. Like my husband built a space for me in the home, and I was working in the back of the house.
Yes.
And it got to a point where it was pushed
too many.
Me out.
Yeah, because
it was too much foot traffic.
Yeah.
And I needed to break up the space, divorce the space of personal and professional.
Yeah.
And I was making the money, so it wasn't anything for me to go and get my own space. So I went and got my own space, and it's been a blessing ever since. Yeah. Literally. Definitely. Yeah.
Exciting.
That was a long story, huh?
No, it's your journey.
It's your story, girl.
My journey. I sing everything. Okay.
Now use the J.
So, I'm pretty much the same as you. You guys.
Is this gonna be like the running story? Is that like probably pretty common that our intros to beauty?
Yeah,
similar.
Absolutely.
As Black women, as women,
absolutely. My stepmom at the time was one of the most popping hairstylists in Miami. Yeah. I didn't spend that much time in the shop with her throughout the week or working, but I was there every Saturday to get my hair done. It was a large part of my day. I went, to have the food and the Jamaican patties that were on the strip.
Okay, Miami.
It was like a big event when you went to go get your hair done. And so that's always been in my background. But from some of my earliest days, I can remember just being locked in my room for hours and hours with the music on. And by the time you would come to my door, I've drawn everything. Like anything I see, I was in there just working it, stenciling stuff. I would be locked in my room drawing. My mom would have to come check and see if I was alive or
breathing.
Yeah, because I would get lost. Yeah. So today I kind of get lost in my work like that in the same way. But so many times throughout like my process and my journey, I forget that I did things because every every
if you got your head down and you just working.
Yes, but every time that I elevate to the next space, or I move and maneuver into the next space in my life, it's so eventful. I'm meeting so many people and so many significant things are happening that I was like, dang, I don't even remember that, because I've always had an artistic background. Before coming to college to Clark Atlanta, my mom always encouraged like a beauty type scenario, and I dismissed it because I only saw it as side money.
Well, because she saw you. She
saw
you.
Me.
Yeah.
She saw me every day. But, in the back of my mind, I'm like, nah, I'm going to try this. I'm going to go the dentist route. I want to push myself to the max. But only because I dismissed it as a side kind of hustle. You get what I'm saying? I didn't see us being realistically being able to support myself based off of that type of income. So fast forward, when I'm finishing college and I'm trying to decide what I want to do, I'm waitressing part-time in the club, and which I'm making amazing money. But then you get tired of being involved in certain things within that lifestyle. By that time, I'm working in the club now, and I'm making significant money, doing really, really well. But in that lifestyle, in that environment, you have to deal sometimes with things that you don't want to deal with, or you're involved in mess that you are not necessarily like completely involved in, but it's just the dynamic of, working in a club. So in that industry, I was introduced to eyelash extensions because I got my lashes done all the time, every 2 weeks at Bronner Brothers, just the clusters. I was really, really committed because I had always got lashes done in high school too. I've always been into them. So once I saw some beautiful eyelash extensions come into work, like my coworker, I'm like, I pulled her over to the bottle cooler so I could see, because it was really dark. I'm like, what is that? Like, I gotta have that. Give me the lady's number. So we're fast forward. I'm calling to book an appointment. I had to wait 3 months to get an appointment.
3 months.
Yeah, because she came to Atlanta from Dallas once a month, and she stayed for a week. So she had a rotating clientele.
Smart.
And then so she would come back for the week. Anyway, she finally got in touch with me and told me that I could come. And obviously I fell in love with the service. It was amazing. And she pretty much suggested that I take the course and getting to know me and like getting to know a little bit about what I was in school for and everything. She's like, I think you would really enjoy this. And so she set up a commission program within her salon. And I worked there for 6 months before I went out on my own. And and from then it's just been up. It's been up from there. Yes, absolutely. It was a beautiful transition. Leaving her salon, working commission, and then going on my own, only even working 3 days a week. I immediately knew right then and there. It was like a fact check every time. It was like you said, a point of confirmation at every point, like that pushed me to the next level. So when I did have to go out on my own, I didn't even want to. It was just I was kind of forced into a situation. And then once working that first weekend, making 100% of my money, I was like, oh, she didn't
this is what it's supposed to be like.
This is exactly. Yeah. And at that particular point, seeing how all of that played out, at every point of contention or when shit got weird, or how when you were leveling up, everything is getting weird. I never really try to panic because I know it's always going to work out. It's always going to work out because you. Yeah, that situation worked out for the absolute best. And I feel like I've been able to sustain in this industry so long, just keeping excited about the work and keeping fresh about work, because I think about my childhood. Just being locked in my room, doodling for hours. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm really, in real life, a daydreamer. So it's like once my client clocks out and kind of goes to sleep, my mind is is all over the place. So all of these little quirky things. Create, right? All of these little quirky things that I did coming up, now I'm able to take advantage of in a professional way, and it feeds me. And I'm able to make a living off of it. And just from working in her salon for that brief period of time, she did so many amazing things. That introduction to rebooking, you know what I mean? I knew how to run the business from listening to the, as I'm working, I'm listening to the receptionist check out people, check in people. So I was learning the game. Although I had no intention on like leaving her salon, I was just learning things. I was paying attention, and I was super excited about this new industry and being around women in a different way from working in the club. Right. You get what I'm saying? So I was just being introduced to two different worlds. But I guess being able to connect with people, being trusted as a professional, and just like really being able to create a situation where people value my artistic point of view. It's been really amazing to like be able to earn and make a living in that way. Right. And I don't take that for granted. That's why this industry has proven to me that, like I could really rock with it. I get to exercise so many other things that feed me as a being, and I get to make a living. So it's lit.
It's lit.
It's lit. Okay, so before we move on, are there any misconceptions or narratives about your individual profession or that you've experienced as a client that you want to address?
That tech.
Wait a minute, not all that.
Wait. That tech. Stop talking to me like I'm a tech.
Right.
Or just in general, I guess the stigma that comes with beauty industry, like I'm not serious.
Right.
Like this is game time. Or just like the misconception or people not valuing your time, not even necessarily clients or just people just being dismissive about what you do and what you built because this industry is not
it's work. They don't see it as work.
Yeah, I mean, even because you're looking great.
It makes it seem like that's all marketing though, because like why would this being like the first entrepreneurs that we know in our family,
sure, in
most families I'm sure, is that service provider or even like that technician, that plumber, like those are the first real business owners that most of us know. Yeah. And so I wonder if that's like by design to encourage people to go to college. Like what is that? Like where did that reputation come
because
from?
I just feel like it's perceived as a fun thing, right? And it is fun, right? It is fun.
Yeah.
I mean, because like, when you come out of the chair, it's fun. It's a fun experience for the client in particular, but not necessarily for you because actually it is work. So I feel like the people around me, like family, I'll say even like my mom or sister or whatever, they get it, but they don't get it. Like you get it, like you're working, you're being professional, you have a client in your chair, and they know how I am. This is not, I'm not running. It's not playtime. But at the same time, it's like you're still blowing up my phone.
Yes.
You're still like, I called you earlier today. Well, you knew what I was doing. Like, I don't like to talk over somebody's head while I'm working. Like, so I'm only picking up the phone for necessary things and people, but sometimes they take advantage of that as well. So it's like, that I'm gonna pick the phone up for you because you're my mama. Absolutely. Or my daddy or my sister or whatever. I have no choice. You know what I'm saying? But in the hindsight of it though, misconceptions are true to certain things and certain people, but it's just not to us.
Yeah. No, I think more to Ashley's point about like why is it judged in such a negative light when pursuing that? Yeah, like why don't we see?
Because even if the game is getting money, it's a cash business.
Absolutely. But I get what you're saying.
Some games get glorified.
Exactly.
Some cash businesses get glorified. This is kind of looked at
as like because you know somebody doing it and they may not be running the most professional business that you ever stepped into.
That's what I was saying. Like,
yeah, this ain't that.
This is not that. There's different levels to that. Yeah, you know. I was gonna say this might be a little bit controversial, but
okay, go for it.
Just say it.
Go for it.
We'll delete it.
Just say it. Okay, listen. Yeah. Kind of to your point, as to discourage you from, not going to like school, right? There is a certain mindset in certain generations that you do this, and this, right?
Yeah.
And you literally commit your life to one company,
right?
For
that ain't even got you.
Even got you. If you die tomorrow, they're not even sending flowers to the funeral. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Hired by tomorrow.
Yes, hired by tomorrow. And I feel like we started to break different generations started to break that idea of you have to be committed to this particular person.
Well, they only knew what they knew, right? But now we know that we can really pursue this in a whole different way.
But we have a
different perspective.
We have a different perspective,
that 80s
and also
stuff.
Well, yeah, it's a slave mentality as well.
Yeah.
And that's what I said. It might be a little controversial.
I mean,
it's a slave mentality.
We had Black Wall Street. We had those things.
Yeah.
There was a time when in our
but marketing pushed.
Yes, in our communities we had our own doctors. I mean, I was born personally at a black hospital. Mm-hmm. So like there was a time where we did have that.
Yeah.
There was concerted efforts to
pursue that.
I feel like to dismantle that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know if it's a colored thing. I think service providers in general, plumbers, hairstylists, estheticians.
Yeah, they're looked down upon. Yeah.
It's like looked at as business.
I make way more money now than I was when I was in corporate as a VP.
Oh, absolutely. Sure. But I'm just saying how it's so interesting that people have that perspective.
Yeah.
When you're here like clockwork.
Right.
Cashing out.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Like you hear more than any other
place. Like you
exactly.
need your hairstylist, you need your plumber, you need your service provider.
It more than anything. So it's really just people's viewpoint or the hierarchy of I guess work or and pursuing certain educational, markers or whatever. But it really is just that, a misconception. Yeah. Like you really get from this industry what you put in.
Yeah.
If you want part-time money from this industry and you work it part-time, that's exactly what you get. But if you want a full-fledged business and you want it to stay in your lifestyle and your life and all of the extras, that's what you work.
That's what you work. Yeah.
And you re-innovate yourself, you re-educate yourself, and you just keep it moving. You know what I mean? But because the technology and what we do is always changing.
For sure.
So it's like all you do is reinvent yourself, reinvent the wheel, switch the price up.
Yeah.
Accommodate your time properly.
I feel like service providers need a little bit more credit. It is like the gateway to entrepreneurship.
Mm-hmm. It is.
For a lot of people.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
So service is great.
Yeah. Service is great.
Service.
And that it's just you're just doing one thing. Like if you do eyelash extensions, that means that you're only supposed to just be doing that.
Right.
You are a licensed esthetician,
and
you can do a million different other things. I am a master cosmetologist. I can do hair, nails, and skin.
Yes,
I can do multiple things. Also, too, like we were talking about earlier, education or getting passive income. During COVID, I filmed a how-to, install microlinks or whatever. Like there's so many things that you can do. We're not just one-sided. We don't just do one thing. Like, girl, I could be tattooing your eyebrows on tomorrow. Stop playing with me.
Stop playing.
And will.
I could be popping your pimples on your forehead next week. Stop playing with me.
Yes.
So
okay,
1000%.
Just moving on. So, do you guys think as creatives, not just service providers, as beauty industry creatives? I hate that word, creatives. I think it's weird,
I love it.
Do you?
Yes.
I don't know. I think when words get like buzzwordy,
you're like
you get real. Okay. As creatives. Do you think that there is an innate inability to, or not maybe an innate inability, but like our brain works in a very creative way, in an artistic way? Are there things that naturally we are just
when I did work all day and I had the evening and I had the weekends free and all that kind of stuff, whatever, I wanted to socialize. I wanted to be out, hang out with my friends and do stuff like that. But now it's like and when I'm doing it all day, and then when so I feel like it kind of like affects me. I won't say for everybody but me socially. And then when I do hang out, I want to hang out with my people who get what I'm saying, like I don't want to go to the club, okay, like can we do a nice expensive dinner, like come on now, like a great
overly expensive one,
and let that be that, or don't get upset that I want to go home because it's like now 10:45.
1000%. You definitely become, I personally experienced the being antisocial, because I have several conversations throughout the day, like about topics that aren't maybe the topics that I would want to be talking about all day long, because that comes with being a service provider. You become an unlicensed therapist. Yes. And so, like I'm talking about and giving advice on all kinds of things that I'm not supposed to be speaking on, or I'm not supposed to be giving advice on, but I do. And people listen. So when you have to have those kind of interactions all day long, like the ones outside of those, very, very intentional. Then when you don't want to, you just genuinely don't want to, it has nothing to do with the people, the person, or nothing. It's just I need to recharge because I got to get at this again and again.
And I think probably the non-providers, non-beauty industry people in our circles.
Yeah,
it's hard for them to kind of get that. I think.
Yeah, for sure.
It's so hard.
It feels personal, which it would feel personal to me, so I get it.
Yeah.
But it's
I mean, after a while,
it's like it's just one of those days. There's no explanation needed.
It's none. Because
I had one of those days yesterday where I'm like, whew.
I did. I thought we all had a collective.
Me.
We all had a collective like Woosah day on Sunday last week.
For sure.
When we didn't hear from me, I was like, everybody's clocked.
Everybody's clocked out
today.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I forgot. Never mind. Go ahead. Sorry.
Sure.
Yeah, I did.
So as business owners, let's kind of take off our beauty provider hats.
Yeah.
As a business owner, what are areas of business you would like to say you shine the most in? And what are areas that you would say you could improve in?
Can I start?
Yes.
Yeah, please do.
Of course.
I forget. No, honestly, areas that have made my business flourish, it's just communication. Communication being the biggest, and that personal experience. Small things like making eye contact with people. Mm-hmm. Small things like looking at people.
I just made eye contact with. No,
not an awkward eye contact.
I know, yeah.
But like, I don't know if you guys even pay attention to how much people avoid eye contact.
Yeah, for sure.
And because I've been
an eye contact avoider.
Yeah,
so
yeah. So
yeah.
But like when I meet somebody and I greet them and I'm looking at them in their eyes and I'm talking directly, just little things like that, or just that overall customer service experience. Mm-hmm. I think I excel at, and just providing a customized experience for like. I feel like most of my clients started liking me before I feel like my work took off.
Got it.
You get what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
And not
got it.
And I didn't mean to really like but just like the experience.
Yeah,
like
for sure.
Me grabbing your purse when you walk in and putting it on. Just those little small things that, or just being polite, or legit just smiling. Like, you know, when I used to serve tables, I would walk up to a table smiling and they would be like, dang, like, you don't see that in restaurants anymore. And I'm like, that's how I just used to win. Just little basic things like that are not normal anymore, or like really done that often. Like people pay like the most attention to. I need to be better at putting systems in place to keep organized. You get what I'm saying? Like the systems are there. The systems are there. Like just things outside of doing the art shouldn't be so much of a task. You get what I'm saying? Like checking in with the books, or, you know, just all the little extra things that come with running a business. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like keeping our books organized, like just as far as like being able to report certain money, how much money is spent on this, how much money are you spending each month? Can you consistently do that? Like the systems are there, but I don't think I'm utilizing them to their max potential to keep me on point. Because sometimes I just get too lazy. Right. You know what I mean? Like,
so it's like not really analyzing your business from a numbers perspective.
Yeah. I know I'm doing numbers. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. But like, I don't know what. Yeah,
we're doing numbers.
Yeah, 1000%. But like, you know, you're doing the numbers, but sometimes you really can't see it because you don't have everything lined up the way it's
reports. Like, it would be beneficial for me to look and see what my best service is, like what my highest.
And even just
No,
wow.
I'm just making money.
Yeah,
I'm not like doubling down on what my
I honestly look at that every week.
Yeah, that's so good for you.
That's amazing.
I'm happy for that for you.
Okay.
So those two things.
You want me to go?
Yeah.
Oh, I would say being educated. So I'm really even though like the things that I market the most are extensions and color.
Sure.
I'm really educated on hair growth and skin.
Okay.
So analyzing scalps and things of that nature, and knowing what it is to grow your hair back, or what's affecting it, or what you need to drink, or what you need to eat, or whatever. So being well educated and consistently educating myself,
that makes
and
you so trustworthy.
It makes me trustworthy, and that's why my client retention is amazing. But in hindsight, I hate saying hindsight. I keep saying hindsight, but the thing that I need to work on is the same thing that I'm good at. Is that I just get so comfortable in the fact that I know, and I'm like, well, I don't have to, I don't have to look for new clients. I don't have to market to new clients. I can talk to and communicate and do my content for my current clients. It is what it is. I don't have to, present myself in a different way, in a certain way, because my clients will be there next week. You know what I mean? So just getting too comfortable in
having that
thing.
Core group. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah. So.
Sounds good. I would say my strength, is probably like the the client facing experience. So everything, like I got great systems for the client. They see everything that's client facing is good. The experience is good. I am a perfectionist, so I've always wanted my business to be based on what I provide and not on really me. And I think that's some childhood things that we're gonna unpack later. But I've always wanted. Because I'm one of those people, I need credentials. I need, that validates me. Like having the credentials, having the skill. Like that is what I'm kind of based on. So the strength is that. So like everything client facing is great. I think the things where I fall short is the back end stuff, which is like the financials, all the back end things, looking at analytics. Social media, promoting. I am probably more of a word of mouth business. My business is very successful, like you guys. Like I'm constantly booked up with the wait list. But so of course I'm like lacking on promoting. I'm not on social media. That's also something we'll talk about later. But it's a thing.
It's a thing.
But it doesn't affect my pockets.
And that's why he's like,
and that's the same thing.
It may affect.
So that's the same thing. It's different things that we're doing, but it's the same thing. Being so comfortable, and it's not because it's not affecting your pocket. So you're like, well, shoot.
But it could be
because I don't.
But it could be.
It might not be. I might not be getting uncomfortable quick enough.
That's right. Yeah.
Good way to look at that.
Good way to look at it.
Okay, so what's something you struggled with in your business that you've overcome?
Ooh, boundaries, Lord Jesus.
You go first.
Really?
Whoa. Oh.
You had to set those boundaries? They weren't always there?
I feel like we all start off with some really janky boundaries.
Yeah, as far as like even time or just like, I really had a problem saying no.
Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah, for me, it was just because I was like new and I'm like, I need that money.
Yeah. We all go through that.
Or like,
but
I need that client. It wasn't even really for me about the money. It's like, I need that client.
Yeah.
I need to be accommodating and I need to say
yes.
yes.
Absolutely.
Oh, that was an issue.
Driven.
That was an issue.
Money driven. Yeah. No.
Dollar signs and not.
When you're earning the money and it's coming, it's like, I'm always going to be compensated for my time at whatever rate that is. But it was more about like being there for people. I took that appointment. Or like I took that full set, so I have to be available for that field. Yeah. And that is so hard and so draining. Have you working from 7 a.m. to 1 a.m. and, taking all kind of drugs to keep up.
Not drugs to keep up.
No, but seriously, like just being able to assert my boundaries. Well, first of all, recognize them, and then recognize that I'm tired, recognize that I'm exhausted, recognize that I'm feeling like a zombie and I'm just going through the motions every day, and then being able to like the only reason I feel like I was forced to put a system in place was because looking at somebody's face going, I don't have anything I wasn't able to do. I would make myself available. If you were a 2-week client, it didn't even matter if I didn't have it. I would make it available. I would say something stupid like 7 a.m. Knowing that I didn't want to do that.
Or I'll come in on Sunday morning for you.
Afternoon. Like that. Just do something
creating stuff outside
that
your
you know
schedule.
That you don't want to do anymore to accommodate people. And then like, so when you exercise those boundaries, you obviously like lose people because of course it's taken personally, and it's not because you're about to like croak. I was always confident in my words or like my work, but you just don't know what you don't know, and like you don't know like this is toxic as ever. Like I'm doing this, and you think that you're correlating these relationships. That when you do say I can't sustain this, that it would be taken like that, but no. It's not. It's like, as long as you do it, dummy,
Right.
you're gonna get
You're gonna have to keep doing it.
Yeah,
As long as you do, you have to keep doing it. Yeah.
Exactly. So it was just more about the
never
time.
see it as the exception. They
No.
never see it like I
No.
did her. She did me this one favor.
Every time
It's
you have
expected.
yes. That's the standard now.
That's kind of hurtful. Well, I would say it used to be, but now I'd be like,
Now it's not.
Now it's not, because you kind of like, okay, you know it's possible.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But it's
disappointing though. I think sometimes I have the client that you are just not expecting
from.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
You say you really rock with me. You don't care that I'm dog ass.
But then it's like you spoil them. They don't know.
Yeah.
They don't realize that.
Or even too, like, you know how they expect us not to have lives outside of those walls.
Yeah. All you're doing is getting people together for their big moments.
Sure. And so I've been through it so many times that I'm like, okay, so recently you guys know that one of my brothers passed away. And I'm like, you know, people be like, oh, they'll ignore that they know that this has happened. But be like, oh, your books were closed and I was trying to figure out if you had any availability for this time, this day. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So that used to be hurtful, but now I'd be like, you know, business is not personal. It is what it is. Yeah.
That's definitely gonna be the thing that I've overcome.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I learned that from DeJay.
Okay.
She never took anything personal. At least I didn't see it.
I did.
And you know, like the second strand client of your business is your employee. So I saw, you know what I mean? Maybe that was real. Maybe but you presented to me, it's not personal.
Yeah.
And so that was definitely the thing that I take it's like, you know, I'm an artist and I'm sensitive about shit.
Yeah.
I was very close to it. You know? So any little inconvenience or hiccup, I'm like, I took it personally.
Yeah.
And I guess also too, me being very reserved, kind of to myself, I ain't never.
And then having to be open.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So yes. Like that, any little thing, it was like, oh, that felt personal. That hurt.
Yeah.
Like it stung.
Yeah.
So learning not to take it personally.
Yeah. No, it's a big deal. It's a big deal. It was one of the, it's applicable all over the board. And once you master it, it's like,
and I read that in one of my first great books is like the 4 agreements, and that's one of the agreements. It's like, don't take nothing personally.
Yeah,
I think I read it at like 17.
Yeah,
so it just didn't. It don't click.
It don't click till it click.
Exactly.
Yeah. Mine was their no is not always a negative word.
Oh, that's a good one.
Okay.
No, this style won't look good on you.
Oh
no, I can't. You know, discount
I can't
it.
offer that.
No, that special is gone. No, this is not going to be healthy for your hair. No, I don't have the availability. It doesn't always. No, it's not always negative. No, it just means no.
Not at the moment.
Not at the moment. No, and there's a period on the end. Yeah, absolutely. So mine was learning that no is not a negative word.
That's a great one.
Yeah,
definitely. I think no for me. My mom says it all the time about me and about me. You need to go ahead and ask so you can get the no.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, it's always been weird. It feels like rejection. Yeah. But you're right. No,
it's not always a bad word.
For sure.
But in regards to like things that I want to accomplish, obtain or whatever, no just means, and you know,
go a different route. Right?
Or you're not asking the right person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hit it.
Yeah.
Both.
Absolutely.
Both.
Yeah.
BOAF. Both.
Okay. So,
both of them.
I guess my next question was going to be kind of based on what I already said, but it was what I kind of said to you. What's a business lesson you learned? Okay, hold on. Let's pause.
Yeah.
Okay, so this next question kind of is based on what we just talked about. What's a business lesson that you learned from another owner or another business owner or another service provider that others could benefit from?
Kind of like setting boundaries, but that, okay, so like when I raised my prices, right? Mm-hmm. It was like an understanding that, okay, say some people may not come back and that's fine. But also too, elevation requires separation. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So there's one girl that I follow and we do similar things. And I went to her class and I was just like, she is charging out of the wazoo for this service. And in my mind, I'm like, it don't even take me that long to do it. And I'm just, you know, why are you charging that amount? And it's really because you have to evaluate who and what you want to be and what you want your business to be, and everything has to reflect that. How you book your appointments, you know, how you take your payments, how you present your marketing, you know, again, what services you do offer. Everything has to align. And so I learned from her that she's not just charging that amount of money because she can. Her whole business is aligned with the price point.
Yes. Yes. All of the money that she invested in her education is a part of that decision. Everything that she pays for her overhead and her upkeep is a part of that decision.
The time she spent on learning and
the education piece. The overhead, the education,
the beauty, safety of her space.
The space, the comfort level, all of that is included. My taxes, all of that is included in the decision. In the decision for my price. It's not just because I do lashes. You know what I mean? It's all of the things. So that's why she did that.
That's why she did that. And there's a certain girl for a certain thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And it's okay. I always tell people it's okay. You're gonna still be cute if you get a quick weave versus microlinks.
Yeah,
like it's okay.
It's somebody for everybody.
It's somebody for everybody.
Somebody thinks my sets are obnoxious because they're priced the way they are. Like literally obnoxious. Like one day this lady called and asked, and I gave her a quick rundown, which I should have never done on the phone. She hung up in my face.
She was offended.
I died.
She tried it. Like
she hung up.
Straight up. She didn't even say, okay, thank you. Like, thanks for noticing.
She said click.
Click. She clicked. So I was like, well, shit. There. Somebody for everybody.
Yeah. You got a beauty within your budget.
Yeah. And
I'm sorry, because you did say it outside of beauty, right? Like you did say outside of beauty. I'm sorry.
No, not necessarily. I was just saying, was there something that you learned in business?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
In business.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
With one of our like mentors, it was, she basically told me that I was running prior to like taking her course and in advancing my education and like going a step further. She told me I was running my amazing eyelash studio like a nail shop.
Really?
Based off of quantity and not quality.
Yep.
And she was right. She called me out, but I just had never, it just was like, what? But she was totally right. All I was worried about was getting people in and out. I had never even had the time to really tell people that their lashes were disgusting or dirty.
Oh, yeah. Or get on time.
Because it was, in 75 minutes, somebody was going to be in the hallway and I had to get them in. So I was doing my numbers in the quantity versus overall quality experience. Yeah. So it just shifted my mindset a little bit when she said that. It was insulting, but it was funny, but it did what it needed to do. And I was like, boy, next year, y'all, she is not going to be saying that, Thierry. You better
She said
not.
it was insulting.
It was. And
I respond well to like.
Yeah. It was like, it was enlightening. You know, I never felt that way. I never seen it like that. Not that her word was law.
No.
You get what I'm saying? But it was just a different perspective on how I was doing things.
It made you step back and say
what I really was doing.
Let me take a look at my business. Yeah, absolutely.
I was like,
what about
we went to dinner after that training, Ashley and I, and we were just sitting at the table like, what?
Probably in silence.
Yeah. Thinking the same things, but not even articulating it out. It was like a
first and second class.
First and second. We just were mystified.
Really?
Because it was so much information and how we were doing things backwards in a sense that wasn't progressive to us as humans.
Yeah.
And it'd be mind blowing. Like when you really pay for and do your research on somebody and you want to know how they get to that level and you invest in their knowledge and you get to ask those pointed questions, it's really exciting.
Yeah, well, that's good because she gave you what you paid for.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah,
hell yeah.
For sure.
1000%.
What about you?
I would say mine is I didn't really have any misconceptions, I guess, about or any ideas about how a client should pay. But I do remember like when I first started, kind of like wanting, expecting the cash, like treating it as a cash business.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And it wasn't until, I was going to one salon and there was like a fee for me to use my debit card or my credit card.
And you knew, right?
I'm having to like get the cash or pay the fee. And even just saying that even though the fee probably was minimal.
It's stupid though.
I don't like it though.
Charge what you want. So
are
you
you seriously like
right.
even people who like use Square? Oh, it's a because they don't want to pay the fee. Well, just charge me
the extra $5.
Aren't you the merchant?
Like just raise your price $5.
Yeah,
so it could be a clean
exactly. And so having that experience as a client, and then having the opposite experience as a client, where when I started going to the J, for instance, it was always an option for me to pay. And I never, it wasn't like this is a 3% increase. So I guess going into my business, that was important for me.
Yeah.
It's like, put the money
as
on
convenient
the books.
as
put the money on the books. First of all, you need the money on the books. We'll talk about why later, but you need the money on the books, and just treat it like the business that it is.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah. That's how you get the respect. Yeah. The easier and more convenient you make it for people to pay, the more they pay.
Yeah.
That's why I make it complicated for you to pay me.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make it as easy as possible.
Kind of rude, actually.
Actually, it is.
My nail salon actually just started that.
Are you serious?
Just started it.
Come on over to Beauty Asylum.
More beauty either.
Come along.
One day. These songs.
So that we can get our Tuesday appointments. Yes, exactly. Beauty Asylum.
Thanks.
So let's take those business hats off, and we're going to talk about being an artist. So put your artist hat on. What are some of the benefits you've experienced working in this industry?
Freedom.
Yeah.
My schedule is my schedule, and I have the ability to say when I'm going to be there, when I'm not going to be there, and I have the ability to say what I'm going to do and what I'm not going to do. Mm-hmm. And that's just that. Yeah.
I'm with that.
So different quality of life for sure.
That's amazing for you. It goes back to just like, I know I've overstated this, but just being able to make money off of what I like, my artistic eye, being able to execute certain things, or I just really love creating art for that person. Like whatever I see when I get a picture of your face, and I can really design a look that complements your eyes and create symmetry in what type of way, and like really being able to earn a living off of that, that's really fun to me.
For me, I would say flexibility, the flexibility to shift, to change. So if I want to change my hours, if I want to change my prices, if I want to change my policies, just having that flexibility. Mm-hmm. I feel like I feel like in this industry, in any industry, like you kind of get bored. Like you perfect something, for whatever reason, things get monotonous. Mm-hmm. And so having that flexibility,
it really
means everything. Yeah,
definitely.
We're definitely blessed.
Blessed.
We're blessed to
blessed.
I mean, I'm saying that to say like to get into this industry and do so well like we've done.
I mean, that's grind. It's a blessing, but it was max effort,
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. But just think about somebody who felt like, or they did max effort and it just didn't pop off for them.
Yeah, I could see that.
Like I did everything that I thought I could, and
in beauty or just in general?
Just in business in general. Oh, yeah. Not just, hair, lashes, makeup, or whatever, just in business in general. Mm-hmm. There's so many times where people are like, oh, that didn't work for me. Or, for instance, how, we own a transportation company. People come to us all the time like, well, it's been 3-4 years, how did y'all sustain? And they did the same exact things that we did. But
it was for you.
It was for you, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Sometimes people are entering into something because they see somebody's life pretty much transform, and if it isn't for you, it doesn't matter. You get what I'm saying? It doesn't matter. Or if you're looking at it on the outside without really taking a hard look or really knowing all of the effort that went into it for it to look this smooth through your perception, right? You don't know. So
if it's a money grab for you, you're gonna approach it from completely the wrong angle.
Yeah, absolutely,
every time
for sure.
But I do feel like, regardless, I feel like there are certain systems that you can put in place, that should work, that should be beneficial for every business, or for every provider. So it might not have been for you because you looked at it like it was a cash grab. Cash grab. You didn't do everything. You
didn't play the long game.
Also, too, the sacrifice wasn't there too. I just feel like in the businesses that I do have, a lot of sacrifice went into it. And that's on everybody's part. Yeah. So, you know, some people
can't.
Yeah.
Them little kids, and it was just anything.
Well, no,
All
just
kinds of,
also
like,
too, like, say for instance, if, you know, with driving trucks, right? Okay. So somebody might want to stop every single night and get a hotel room. Maybe you shouldn't stop every night and get a hotel room.
Yeah.
You just maybe just sleep in your truck for that night or
Like,
whatever.
yeah.
They don't want to. This, you know, whatever.
It's not that comfortable.
It's not that comfortable. Yeah.
What would you say are, or one, not some, what is one of the challenges that you experience while working in this industry?
I don't know if I'll say a challenge. I could say one situation that had me ready to quit. And it was like the very beginning of me being on my own, out of the salon, in my own space. Somebody's hair fell out.
Oh shit!
Dang. That hurt, huh? I know.
No.
It crushed me, but ultimately,
You didn't deteriorate.
no, it wasn't my fault.
Okay,
Right.
good.
You know,
She wasn't honest.
Yes, she wasn't honest about what was in her hair. And when we got down to the bottom of it, and again, I had a consultation because, you know, I don't play about consultations with color or, you know, whatever extensions. And we had a consultation. Everything was filled out. I do a consultation card, so you sign but everything that we talked about. So you agree to the terms or whatever, and you state exactly what it is that's in your hair. So when it all came down to it, you know, as we were going back and forth, because her hair came out in the shampoo bowl.
Just like on TV.
Yeah. And she finally, after about 15 minutes of us back and forth, she finally said, well, that was just 6 months ago. So she didn't even know.
Right.
It's still there. It is still there. So my
Like
sister,
trauma for you.
it was terrible.
Yeah.
And my sister had to like talk me off of a ledge, and she's like, it happens to the best of us, because she went to hair school too before she became a nurse, and her best friend is a hairstylist. So she was like, it's happened to basically almost everybody, and people are not honest. It's not your fault. You took the necessary steps to do what you were supposed to do. And I still accommodated her and did what we could do to try and put some extensions in to try to cover or whatever. And I literally did not charge her or anything like that. And she was like, I don't owe you nothing. No, but she knew that she was in the wrong.
Right.
So she was trying to pay, but I was like, no, like, I just want to resolve and move on. But it was hurtful.
Yeah, it's traumatic.
It was, I mean, literally shampooing somebody's hair, their hair just falling out.
It's like, I would just clock out. Like, all
I
right.
would just leave.
I'm out of here.
My God. So it wasn't necessarily like a challenge. It was a moment of like, baby girl.
Push through or what?
Yeah, like, is this going to make or break me? Like, and it definitely opened my eyes to like, you can't play with nobody. You got to ask several times. Yeah, I did this and the fourth, but you have to be specific. And like, do you have this? Not just, do you have any chemicals in your hair?
Have those
like,
waivers in place.
Yes. She signed that, so it was like I was covered.
Absolutely.
You know, I did I had my business together, but it still was just like, wow,
that happened.
And to be on your own, and the first time, you like,
I cannot believe this shit. Could not believe
you
it.
go back to school. What's going on?
That's crazy.
Clock down the road. Just start walking.
Challenges that I had come about in, you know, my matriculation into my career or whatever. It was more about like communication with other women. As far as like the women that I was, or their businesses maybe that I was working in, when things changed and they would just rather dead a situation with me versus like let's talk
it
business.
out.
Let's talk business. And because although I've always had pleasant relationships with people that I worked with and people that you know, if I rent in their buildings or rent space from them, I have a pleasant personality, and I'm, you know, we get along and everything is cool, but we ain't friends. We only know each other through business. So let's be able to talk about it. So some situations ended for me prematurely because others didn't want to
know how to communicate.
Exactly. And it was hurtful in that moment, but it always worked out for the best. It was just disappointing. Like you say, it was like, damn, we could have really handled that or talked that out, but instead you lied. And instead of having a big girl conversation with me, it just was weird. And it was also interesting too, because it opened my eyes to people who have business and then people who really do business.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah,
a lot of people have a lot of things.
Yeah.
They collect things.
Yeah.
But not everybody does business. And, you know, I was able to, in those moments, identify who the players were.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so what would you say is your personal balancing act? Being the artist, being the business owner, what's your personal balancing act? Is balance a myth? What do you feel?
I ain't figured it out.
I honestly feel like balance is a myth.
It's a myth.
It's definitely a myth. I just feel like it just needs to be. You just need to do what makes sense.
Yeah.
Honestly, and if you stick to boundaries and you set parameters, those are the words we used previously.
Yeah.
Then it will balance out, but it's still not a balance. If
Yeah.
it makes sense, you just have to
prioritize what needs to be prioritized,
Yeah.
like in that moment. If it needs to be personal, if it needs to be fitness, you gotta just execute prioritizing what you need. But I haven't figured out. I mean, I live for the balance, but I can't like perfectly. I can't figure it out. Like, you know,
the balance is just whatever works.
It's a constant work in progress.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think knowing that like helps you not stress about what you're not like achieving.
Right.
Sure.
Take it day by day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like have a plan, execute, but also take it day by day because we really genuinely out here figuring it out as we go.
Mm-hmm. What you need today may not be what you need tomorrow.
Period.
Yeah.
For sure. And I think we also think of balance as like 50-50.
Yeah.
As a scale
Yes.
where
Yes.
sometimes it's 60-40, 30-70.
But as long as the pie
Absolutely.
makes a pie.
As long as you're not neglecting. Because I have done that where I've neglected.
Yes.
And that's when I've messed up.
Yeah.
So even if I just give 10% to that area that I've neglected,
Yeah.
that's balance.
Yeah.
Period.
You've put the effort.
Right.
Yeah.
Where we
All right. So as we wrap this up, we share a few of our personal wins, our losses, a few tips. I think that for the women behind these businesses, our recommendation would be to find that balancing act, whatever it is. If it's 25, 15, 35, or whatever that combination is, we want you to do your best to incorporate the quadruped method.
Theory.
The quadruped theory, which is being mentally fit, physically fit, spiritually fit, and financially fit. Whatever that balance is, find it, work towards it. That will create the perfect business owner.
Success.
Perfect beauty business owner, too.
Yeah.
Yep. So,
take it day by day,
Take
ladies.
it day by day. That's episode 2, guys.
so our next couple of episodes will be us talking about a few other things that we feel empowered to speak about. But after that, we will be hosting guests.
Hey girl, thanks for listening. But before you go, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. See you next time.